All right, Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Orczy, who was Hungarian and was born in 1865 and was part of the Austria-Hungarian Empire, and was a baroness, so she was high up. She was an aristocrat. She was really wealthy, and this was before it all broke up and went south, and then of course after World War II Hungary was occupied, so that was super bad. So she was part, her father, Baron Felix Orczy, was a noted composer and conductor as well as a nobleman in the court of the Austria-Hungarian Empire. So that's kind of super crazy. She attended the West London School of Art and met a young illustrator named Montague Barstow, whom she married in 1894, and they had a really happy marriage, and they lived in London. Now, she also went to France, and so she was living in London, France. Now, if you've ever heard of this, here's a recap. Basically, what's this about, guys? Time period?
It's about the French Revolution.
Yes, set in the French Revolution. She lived in both places, so she's writing firsthand. She knows what English people are like. She knows what French people are like, so she's kind of makes it believable like that. And, okay, so this was written in 1905 and became more and more popular. She wrote a ton of books. She wrote 68 books. But this is basically the one she's known for. She loved to write. She was a good writer. They tried to make some of them into plays, but the plays weren't super successful. So, somebody give us a little plot overview, basically what's going on.
I don't know, you do it.
Okay, so it's about Marguerite Saint-Just, and she is married to this guy, Sir Percival Blakeney. And he's an English nobleman, and she is from France. She's an actress in plays. And they get married, and he's like super awesome and stuff, and really good to her and stuff. And a lot of people thought that, like...
Except he's a fool. Like, everybody thinks he's really stupid.
And so because of that, everyone thinks that she married him for his money.
Yeah, everybody thinks he's nice or whatever. But I just really think he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they just assume that he's good looking and he's rich, so why wouldn't she marry him? But she really does love him, even though she doesn't, like, know him super well, like, know his heart. She really feels like he's a good man and whatever. I don't know. So that's kind of a weird thing, that she would marry him, but she does. And she thinks that once they're married longer, then they'll get to know each other better, and then they'll, like, the marriage will be better and better. But then, Micah, what did she do that caused their marriage to be bad?
Turned in those dudes that died.
No, they didn't die. They beat up her brother. She turned in the people who beat up her brother.
No, they died.
And then they died.
Well, same difference.
Because she turned them in.
That's what I meant.
Did she turn him in, or did she just sign the paper?
She just signed the paper. Well, I don't know.
So he finds out that she kind of helped cause the death of these good people that were French aristocrats, and he's just devastated.
No, but they weren't that good. They beat up her brother. Like, in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
like,
because he liked
people.
Because he liked their daughter, and he wasn't good enough for her.
Yeah, so they weren't, like, really great people.
But weren't they friends with him?
I don't think so. He just found out that she sent someone to the guillotine, and he couldn't handle it because...
Because of his secret identity.
Oh, the Scarlet Pimpernel. Which, in the movie, it, like, lets you know firsthand that he's the Scarlet Pimpernel, but in the book, you don't find out to the end.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously...
Hopefully you guys have read the book.
You mean
seen the movie.
Yeah. I read the book.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah. But you know what? We had already seen the movie a lot of times. In fact, we own it. And it didn't spoil the book at all for me.
Yeah.
The book was still super awesome, and I still think the book is way better than the movie.
The ending was so sick.
It was, yes. It was, our family agrees, the very best book ending we've ever read. That's one of the reasons that we're blogging about it, and that's one of the reasons that we love it, and it's on our top 100 list, because he's so genius, and he does such a cool thing that you would never expect.
And I don't even remember what it is now, because I read it, like, 2 or 3 years ago, but I remember it was legit.
I do.
Yeah.
Because he, like,
Because he liked their daughter, and he wasn't good enough for her.
I
Okay, there was something that you didn't like very much in the book. Do you remember?
There's like freaking like 5 chapters about her bawling in her freaking attic. About how she betrayed her husband.
She wasn't in an attic.
It's so freaking annoying.
Wasn't in it.
Yes, because she's
and it's not 5 chapters.
It's so annoying. She just goes on about how much terrible she is and how she betrayed her husband and now the whole world's getting.
Oh wait, she's in that barn thing, isn't she?
Yes,
That's
in
why
the
she
attic
said it
of
was
that
an
barn.
attic. Yeah.
She's in the attic of that barn.
And she's just hiding, and she has nothing to do because she's hiding.
So
And
she just
starts
cries
crying.
to herself like freaking ever.
Yeah, I remember that part. I don't remember hating it though.
Okay, here's the thing. It's not very long.
Yes, it is.
It's
It's like
200.
half the book.
It's 200. Well, okay, the book is only 200 pages. First of all, and
That
it was
part
written
is not very long.
It was written in 1905, and so it was translated into. It's a little bit older English. Do you think?
Yeah.
A little bit harder.
I read it a while ago, so it was kind of hard for me.
Yeah.
But that's just because I suck at reading in general. So.
Yeah, but it's not true.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, it is.
So anyway, okay, but here's the irony. First of all, okay, is it gonna hold the interest of like? Well, it held your interest. You were like 12. Yeah. Well, there were moments when you were like, I don't know if I can keep reading. So there might be a couple moments where it's feeling like it's dragging a little bit, but here's the thing. If I would have read it out loud to him, he would have had a better experience because some of the stuff that was frustrating to him, after he was done, we talked about it, and then he understood it better because some of the stuff that he wasn't excited about was actually some of my very favorite stuff.
Like what?
Because it's all about her conscience.
Yes, that's
Oh,
why.
It's
so
all about her battle with
annoying.
her conscience. And it's especially hard because it's a choice between her brother and her husband.
Yeah, I know. But then
And at first she chooses her brother, and then she feels really guilty about it.
But then she finds out what a great man her husband is, and then she's like,
But it shouldn't, I mean, but that's not why she feels guilty. She feels guilty because, like, there's some really awesome passages in here. She was she was so sorry for herself, and she'd never felt so pitiably lonely. She had not been strong enough. Now, this is awesome. She despised her husband for his inanity. She doesn't know him yet. She thinks he's just vain and stupid and all that stuff. She would, and vulgar, unintellectual occupations, and she felt, would despise her still worse because she had not been strong enough to do right for right's sake and to sacrifice her brother to the dictates of her conscience. Because she cooperated in finding out who the Scarlet Pimpernel was to try to save her brother, even though she knew that the Scarlet Pimpernel was a very good man who was saving lives.
And then...
So it's one of those fabulous literary moments where a great writer brings a character to life and you go through her internal battle with her as she tries to decide what's right and what's wrong and recognizes how important it is to obey her conscience and to do what's right at any cost. And it's teaching those important messages about right and wrong and life and death and what's most important and living with yourself and making decisions that will make you like yourself and all that really cool stuff that I love,
You know,
and that I think is super important to read about.
it kind of has the same feel as the Phantom of the Opera. Like the book.
Kind of the gothic-y.
Yeah. Well, not the gothic-y, but like the same feel of the same time period, the same in the theater. I don't know.
Which we didn't blog on Phantom of the Opera.
We really need to do that because it's really good.
And now
Phantom of the
Jonah
Opera's
can't
really
blog
good.
with us, but Dad could because it was really good. So, I loved that part. And then she's pleased with herself because she comes to peace with herself because she decides she's going to do what's right no matter what.
Yeah.
And she does do what's right no matter what, and then it's super cool because it's like that whole eternal justice of books that satisfy our need for justice and mercy to both be satisfied.
Yeah, not like 1984. That
Straight
the
into
end,
Scott
you're
John
just
Reed.
like,
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Yeah. So then she gets to the end and things are playing out. And then she's at this other critical, what's the point where she's at that critical, where she's in the apartment or whatever, and there's the bad guy, and she has dinner with him? Or is that the Scarlet Pimpernel that has dinner with him?
I don't even remember the end of the book.
Scarlet Pimpernel that has dinner with him. And it's super good, and then the whole plot plays out.
It's super sick.
I don't even remember
He
the end of
means
the book.
it's really good.
It's righteous.
Right.
Legit. Rad, if you will.
Super awesome. So, there's really a lot of depth and richness as far as like really having good philosophical conversation. But then there's a mystery, and then there's this really awesome plot resolution that you don't expect that's really super awesome.
There's also a lot of romance, which is pretty great, so, you know.
Loving the romance. Do you love the romance? Yeah. So that's another great thing. In a book discussion with youth or adults, it appeals to men and women for different reasons. Right? Yeah. There's like, and here's another cool thing. It's like womanhood and manhood. It's like, what should women be like and what should men be like? It's really cool for that reason too. But hang in there until the end, and it's public domain, so you can get it online for free, or I recommend that you buy, yes, LibriVox, you can listen on LibriVox. I recommend you buy it and mark it up like I did, because then it's super great and you can use it in your discussions. Anyway, we've talked about it enough. It's super awesome. The Scarlet Pimpernel on our top 100 because we absolutely love it. Everybody that's read it in the family so far has absolutely loved it. So, see you next time.